Hello and welcome back to another on the Football Zone and to a weekend review, reviewing Premier League and Championship action from this weekend, and starting off on Saturday in the Premier League, and it was Manchester City who dismantled Liverpool 4-1 at the Etihad. Salah actually gave Liverpool the lead in the 17th minute before Alvarez, De Bruyne, Gundogan and Grealish made it 4-1. And yeah, once City got going, this was really dominant and just highlighted how poor Liverpool were. Even Jurgen Klopp calling out the men, kind of summarising how poor that was for them. But Man City, after a slow start, a statement win, just keep Arsenal on their toes really. But moving on then to Nottingham Forest 1, Wolves 1 at the City ground. And yeah, good win this for... Good draw this, for Wolves, considering they came from behind and were trading for long periods of the game. Forest obviously took the lead before Wolves got the equaliser. And yeah, Forest, I think there is rumours of pressure going on Steve Cooper, and yeah, for me that would be a harsh sacking, especially considering the job he's done in their first season back in the Premier League and the job he did to get out of them up there. But Wolves, still keeping a relatively safe distance, I would say, to the bottom three. Moving on into Crystal Palace, and yeah, they obviously got a last gasp win against Leicester, and what a massive result that could be in the context of Crystal Palace's season. Roy Hodgson coming in, I wasn't totally convinced by the appointment, but yeah, in the end they just had to get the win, and that's exactly what they did, so it's a big win for them. But for Leicester, obviously it marked the end of Brendan Rodgers, and yeah, while I do feel it's harsh stacking, maybe it is time just to get some fresh impetus in there, because obviously it's been a struggle this season, and yeah, they need to stay up. But moving on then to Brighton 3, Brentford 3, crazy game, 1-0 Brentford, 2-1 Brentford, 3-2 Brentford, and then 3-3, late McAllister penalty. And I think Brentford, yeah, even though maybe they didn't have the majority of the game, Brighton definitely did. To take the lead 3 times and be pegged back 3 times, I think still will be somewhat disappointing for Thomas Frank and his men. But for Brighton, I think when you look on the context of the game, XG of nearly 4.85, yeah, it's a game that they probably felt like maybe they should have won. So yeah, in the end, I think both teams will probably walk away slightly disappointed maybe. Moving on then to Arsenal 4, Leeds 1 at the Emirates. Jesus with a brace, White with 1 and Xhaka with 1 for Arsenal. Christiansen made it 3-1 before it went to 4-1 for Leeds. But yeah, in the end, a comfortable win for Arsenal, and they just keep marching on. Another good performance, another secure performance. And yeah, great win for Arsenal. For Leeds, this is always going to be a bit of a free hit. It's the relegation zone now, but yeah, obviously they need points. But yeah, always a free hit. And Arsenal just keep on proving the doubters wrong. They're not going away anytime soon. And yeah, another brilliant performance from Mikel Arteta's men. Moving on then to Bournemouth, and they beat Fulham 2-1. An absolutely massive result for the Cherries. Pereira gave Fulham the lead in the 16th minute before Tavernier made it 1-1 in the 50th minute, and Solanke in the 79th minute made it 2-1. And yeah, a game that I would say Bournemouth just about edged out, and it's a big win for Bournemouth because obviously, they could easily found themselves in kind of the position that Southampton are in, and maybe slightly cut adrift. But yeah, they're right in the fight now. But Fulham, yeah, really frustrating result, kind of in their quest to get in Europe. Moving on then to Chelsea 0, Villa 2 at Stamford Bridge, and yeah, a result that obviously marked the end of Graham Potter's reign as Chelsea manager. 2 goals for Villa. And yeah, Chelsea, I don't know, apart from the goal, I don't think they were too bad. But yeah, in the end, Villa were the more clinical side, and in the end got the victory, the 3 points, which is what matters. And yeah, it's not the end of Graham Potter. I don't know, the timing just seems strange for me. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't know, is Bruno really going to be not great next few games? I doubt it, but for take nothing away from Villa, great win. Moving on into West Ham 1, Southampton 0 at London Stadium on Sunday, and yeah, an absolutely massive win for West Ham in their bid to stay in the Premier League. And yeah, the only goal of the game coming in the first half from a set piece. And yeah, it's a big result for West Ham. Obviously, that goes without saying. Takes them out of the relegation zone. Obviously, it's still so congested out there. So yeah, they still got a lot of work to do if they want to be in the Premier League next season. But for Southampton, that's a big loss. And yeah, really could see them cut adrift. But moving on then to Newcastle, and they secured a massive win in their bid to get into the top 4 over Manchester United. And yeah, you'd have to say it was a fully deserved win too. Newcastle were outstanding here on the day with a 2-0 win. And yeah, I don't know, Manchester United just didn't really turn up, and that will be disappointing for them because yeah, they look to be in a comfortable position in the top 4, but after being kind of dismantled here, I think it's safe to say that they're no longer really in that comfortable position, and you're really going to have to work for it. But Newcastle, their impressive run of form continues. Moving on into a dramatic game at Goodison Park on Monday, and again it saw 2 red cards. Decore in the 58th minute was sent off for Everton, and Moura in the 88th minute sent off for Spurs. 2 definite red cards. Kane gave Tottenham the lead in the 68th minute after slightly dubious penalty, I have to say, and Keane in the 90th minute made it 1-1. But yeah, what a strike by Michael Keane, by the way. And yeah, you'd have to say Everton in the end, they probably deserved it. An incredible strike from Keane. But yeah, they stuck at it. Really impressive. But for Tottenham, yeah, their crisis kind of goes on. Moving on into Friday, runaway leaders in the Championship, Burnley, were actually held 0-0 by Sunderland. Really good result for Sunderland. But of course, it's unlikely to mean anything for Burnley because, you know, we're all sure that they'll be playing Premier League football next season. I don't think there's really too much doubt about that. But for Sunderland to go to Turf Moor and put in that sort of display and restrict Burnley is hugely impressive for them. I think it's probably going to be too late for a playoff charge, but you know, still good signs for them. But for Burnley, like I say, yeah, they'll be disappointed with that, but it's not likely to make too much difference. Moving on into Saturday, and yeah, it's Preston who picked up a big win over Mick McCarthy's Blackpool. Scoreline was 3-1, and yeah, I mean, obviously a big win for Preston. I don't know, they still got I wouldn't say they've got a big chance of a playoff, to be honest, but you know, if they go on some crazy run, you never know. But for Blackpool, yeah, it's really disappointing result because it was an incredible result against QPR. But yeah, since then, 2 defeats on the trot, and that kind of sums up why I just don't think they'll stay up this season. Moving on into Luton, and yeah, what a massive result that was against Watford. 2-0 was the score. Goals from Osho and Campbell, and yeah, it's a game that Luton absolutely deserve to win. I don't think there's much doubt about that. Really good performance, and yeah, they've now got a 10-point gap in the playoffs, so that'll be comfortable. Watford 6 points outside the playoffs. I mean, yeah, it's looking very tough for them to get in. But for Luton, Rob Edwards really carrying on from Nathan Jones, is doing a tremendous job there. Moving on into where the drama certainly was in the Championship, at Swansea against Cardiff, 3-2 to Swansea. Pirro gave Swansea the lead early on before Cardiff made it before Cullen made it 2-0. Cardiff made it 2-2 before, in the 99th minute, Ben Cabango scoring the winner. And yeah, the limbs in that Swansea end looked absolutely incredible, I have to say. And yeah, it's a win that I would say Swansea just about deserves. Huge win as well for them. You know, just wanting to end a disappointing season on the high. But Cardiff, they're still right in the mix of the relegation battle. Moving on into Wigan, and speaking of the relegation battle, picking up a big win against QPR. And yeah, the only goal came coming in the 6th minute from the spot through Power. And yeah, in the end, it was quite a close game. Wigan maybe just about deserving to edge it. So yeah, obviously a big win for them. And yeah, kind of makes up for the 3 points they lost. But moving on then to QPR, and yeah, I don't know, since Gareth Ainsworth's gone in, it's just not really improved since Christian. In fact, it's probably got worse. Yeah, something about that club is not right, and it needs a big overhaul. Moving on then to West Brom, and they picked up a good win, a good draw, against Millwall out on Saturday. And yeah, the game, there wasn't a lot in it, really, I have to say. Millwall probably had more shots on goal, West Brom maybe more shots. But yeah, like I said, there wasn't much in it. But yeah, I think Millwall, you know, kind of in the playoff race, more firmly in it, would be a better result for them. They've got 4-point gap over Norwich now with their loss. But for West Brom, 6 points, it's a big gap. But moving on then to Norwich, speaking of them, drawing 1-0 against, losing 1-0 against Sheffield United. And yeah, for Sheffield United, McAtee was in a game in the 62nd minute. It was a tight game, not much in it, but for them to get that win, it is a big win for them. And yeah, with Barrow losing, it's a massive boost in their automatic promotion hopes. But for Norwich, yeah, big blow for their playoff hopes. They need to kind of sort out their home form. It's been really poor if they want to stand any chance of getting in the playoffs. But moving on into Hull, as they drew 0-0 with Rotherham. And yeah, really frustrating one for this, I think, for Rotherham. Keener sent off in the 79th minute, but Hull kind of were dominating for that. But Rotherham didn't have a shot on target. Hull only had one. Let's face it, it's not the best game that anyone's ever seen. But yeah, for Hull, I think it's a game that they really would have targeted to win. But for Rotherham, it's to stand firm and, you know, get a draw. Because they're not out of the relegation picture, only 2 points above the drop zone. It's a big win for them, a big draw for them, a point they can take back to Yorkshire. Not that they were in Yorkshire, but moving on then to Huddersfield, and they definitely pulled off the surprise of the day against Middlesbrough, beating them by 4-2. And yeah, obviously a massive result for Huddersfield, who have kind of measured up 2 wins out of nowhere against 2 teams chasing past Middlesbrough and even chasing automatic promotion. So yeah, huge results for them. But as for Middlesbrough, yeah, hugely frustrating result, and yeah, it makes the challenge of getting the automatic promotion zone 6 points off Sheffield have a game in hand. Yeah, it's incredibly tough. Moving on into Stoke, and they picked up a 4-0 win away at Coventry. They're absolutely flying at the moment. Brown, Campbell, Smallbone and Hover with the goals. And yeah, on the whole, just a dominant performance from Stoke and fully deserving of the victory. Coventry were poor, but take nothing away from Stoke. They were simply outstanding here. And yeah, even though it is too late in this season to kind of really mount a playoff charge or anything like that, yeah, I would say they're definitely in good stead to do something well next season. Alex Neil finally looks like it's clicking now. Moving on then to Bristol City 1, Reading 1 at Ashton Gate. Conway gave Bristol City the lead on the stroke of half-time before Lucas Giles scored in the 72nd minute to make it 1 apiece. And yeah, Bristol City, I don't know, probably had the better of the game. It wasn't a great game if I'm being brutally honest. But, you know, Reading did well, showed some character, came back. So yeah, good news for him. Good news for Reading as they bid to survive. Yeah, it's looking close, but no reason why I can't do it. Bristol City kind of mid-table. Moving on then to Birmingham as they took on Blackburn at St Andrews, and it was Birmingham who came up on top, 1-0 win. Going coming in the 61st minute through Kadra. And yeah, on the whole, I would say good win for Birmingham, really good win for Birmingham, considering Blackburn's league position, stuff like that. Blackburn probably has the best of the game, but you'd expect that. But yeah, Blackburn, 4-point gap over Norwich still. They've got a game in hand. You'd expect them to get in the past, but you know, it's not necessarily a guarantee. So yeah, will be close, but for Birmingham, a big win. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, subscribe, for daily football news and subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.